Now, Julia, you were with us 2 weeks ago for the first slam, and you were so good at picking numbers. So I'm going to ask you for a number between 1 and 14.
7.
7 means that Ellen will be our first slammer tonight. Ellen, are you hearing me?
On mute.
Yeah, you were.
Which Ellen?
Ellen Ehrman. I don't know that I have another Ellen.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Ellen,
All right.
I need a number between 1 and 14, please.
14.
14. Scott Norman.
Oh, all right.
And Scott Norman, do you have a number for me between 1 and 14?
13.
Good one. Susie, can you give me a number between 1 and 14?
5.
And that's Harmony. Harmony, I don't want any repeated number. I need a new number from you.
12.
Would you say that again?
12.
Good. That's Noah. Noah, can you give me a number between 1 and 14? No repeats.
Oh, geez. Hold on.
He's checking the calendar.
Oh, he's got dice.
Oh, wonderful.
How is 4?
4 has perfect. That's Michael.
Yeah, you think I can make my own decision? Ridiculous.
Michael.
I might have more technical difficulties, so I might switch devices again, but I'm going to just try to stick with this one as long as I can.
All right, Noah, thank you. Michael, can you give us a number?
7.
7 has already been taken, Michael.
8.
That's a good call. That's Kim. Got a number, Kim?
How about 9?
9 is a good call. Andy.
Number 2.
Number 2. He's had some experience because he didn't repeat a number and he never has. Burn. You got to unmute. Yeah.
Why?
Oh, good call. Mark.
Back here.
3.
3. I'm sorry, that was just taken.
5.
5 was taken.
8.
8 has been taken. You're doing a good job, though.
Outstanding. 10.
10 is a good call. JD.
5.
He said 5.
JD, are you there?
Yes, I said 5.
5. Nope, been taken.
9.
9 been taken. I'm going to give you a clue. It's either 11, 6, or 2.
11.
Did you say 11?
A bit closer.
Say it again, please, JD.
11.
11. That's Eva. Eva, 2 or 6?
Sorry, I was muted. 6.
You said 6. That'll be Steve. And that'll have Joanne as our last slammer. We're going to take the top 3 slammers from round 1, and they shall go on to a slam off in round 2. Judges, raise your hands, please. Your right hand. All right, I see David, I see Ron, I see Julia, and they're all right-handed. Good. Please repeat after me. I,
I,
fill in your name,
Julia Hewitt,
do hereby affirm
do hereby affirm
that I am qualified because I have markers and paper
that I am qualified because I have markers and paper.
Ron and David, I'm not hearing you.
I have markers and paper.
To write scores on, and because I am familiar
To write scores on, and because I am familiar
with the use of the numbers 1 to 10,
with the use of the numbers 1 through 10,
and with the use of decimal points.
and with the use of decimal points.
Plus, I'll be fair.
Plus, I'll be fair.
Ron, I didn't hear you.
Plus, I'll be fair.
And will not favor my sweethearts,
And will not favor my sweethearts,
or those who I wish will become my sweetheart.
or those I wish will become my sweetheart.
I understand that I shall score each performance
I understand that I will score each performance
from 0 to 10.
from 0 to 10.
0 meaning don't quit your day job,
0 meaning don't quit your day job,
and 10 meaning your poem and your performance blew my socks all the way to Toledo.
and 10 meaning that your poem and your performance blew my socks all the way to Toledo.
All right, thank you. Let's hear it for these judges.
Yay!
Man, it's a tough pull here, but I'm going to serve as your sacrificial poet. Generally, when I say I'm going to serve as your sacrificial poet, audiences generally burst into spontaneous applause, a sound of joy. Joy, joy, joy.
Man, thank you.
When I was a kid and something bad happened to a neighbor, I tried to stay away until things had blown over. I didn't know what to say. My grandfather cut his left thumb clean off with a table saw. He was a carpenter making someone a table. He drove himself to the hospital 12 miles, holding his red hand out the window at red lights so traffic would know to let him through. I didn't want to see him, no matter that I loved him. Hell, that made it harder. But he was in our driveway before I knew he was even out of the hospital, and before I could hug him or hide, he told me his thumb stump had grown a new nail. Wanna see? Tongue frozen, I nodded and saw he held to his turbaned thumb a 6-penny nail from his shop. A friend at a fancy dinner asked her 3-year-old son, who had just by accident farted loudly, "Johnny, what do you say?" The guests had paused in their talk to study their reflections in the consommé. The astonished child replied, "Thank you." What does one say? What are the right words? My friend just lost half his house to a fire. I said, You're so calm. I'd be throwing a fit. He replied in a way that calmed me. I've thrown it already.
Woo-hoo!
Pretty good, audience. Judges on a count of 3. 1, 2, 2.5, 3. I want to see them.
Ooh.
Ron, you're a little light there, but put it up. I got a 8.8, a 9.7. Whoa, that's a pretty nice score. The audience should be pounding their palms with approval. And Ron, hold them up. I want to see it.
Hold it further away from the camera.
Oh, there you
A little
go.
higher.
There we go. It looks like a 9.5. Wonderful. 16.2. A 29.1. Aha. Wonderful.
Going. Good, thanks.
Please, our first slammer of the evening. Let her know how welcome she is. Give it up for Ellen.
Okay, Alizera, the wind. The wild, wonderful wind winds up the tree and down, whistling, whispering, whimpering, whining, always strong and winning. Even the gentle breezes, a wonderment. Warm and wanton, waltzing and wistful, scurrier of leaves, scatterer of seeds, carrier of weather. Watch her and you'll see.
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah.
Hi.
On the count of 3, judges. 1, 2, 3. Let me see them. Good, Ron. I got a 7.8, an 8.9, and a 6.8 from the meanie. 9, 8, 17, 5, 2. So 5 and 9, 14. And 8, 22, 2, 7, 9, 8, 17. A 23.2 for Ellen. Wait no longer. It's Scott Norman.
Hey, Scott.
This is Verses in Chinese Style for our friends at the Poetry Festival, autumn 1990. The struggling we do is history. The songs we sing, history. Look, after the bombs, rain. The walls we build seem immobile, eternal. The land, the sky, will swallow them. What strange fruit blossoms in time? We struggle with angels, wrestle with demons, alter the trueness of their names. Lightning, time, rain. In the cities, Luciferian chanting. Some when long-horned antelope will run up from the sea, graze the streets of seaport towns. Hard mist is everywhere. Let us spin wheels through prairie, into mountains, you and I.
Yeah, nice job.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
Thanks.
The judges are furiously tabulating their scores, knowing that I'm about to count for them. 1,
Here.
2, 3. Let me see them. I got a 6.8, an 8.9, and a 7.2. 9 carry them 1, 7, 8, 15. A 22.9 for Scott Norman.
Hey, Scott.
Wait no longer. It's time for Susie.
Can you hear me? Just checking. Can you hear me? My Wi-Fi is a bit strange.
Which begin,
Yeah.
my darlings. You must.
I remember the event clearly. It was a
Which is
busy
smart.
afternoon in the farmhouse kitchen. My great nan, roughly in her late 90s, was washing up and Grandma was standing by her. The scene on.
Have we lost Susie?
Yes.
Got frozen.
Susie, you might want to try turning off your camera and just doing audio so we can get your audio clear.
And if we all mute, she might be clearer.
Yeah, that's a good call. Jeff, I wonder if we want to go to the next person and come back to Susie.
Great idea. Thank you. It's time for, and you can unmute to welcome her, Harmony.
I have 2 poems and each of them is a little bit under 3 minutes. Is that okay?
What you want to do is you want to make it seem like one poem. You can do it, I know.
Jeff, can I jump in? I just got one thought, Harmony. If you make it to the second round, you want to make sure you have a second poem to read.
Oh, so I'll just read one. Okay.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't know there were like different rounds. I'm new to all of this.
That's okay.
My first poem is Strong. Muscles, a paltry sign of strength. The cries of a protest are music to change. Enervated, distressed, and worn, turn up some tunes. I feel reborn. Safe from a virus, I cover my face. Masking disguises make me think, what have we done to this place? Strong, healthy, follow the rules, the guidelines to not get ridiculed. Earth fights for peace. The world is not always peaceful, yet is always resisting, always persisting. Family, hold me up when I'm down, flip my frown, make me indestructible. Swim in ice, kissed by the cold, though never froze, boosts my mind, inner strength makes me kind, find words to heal the world. The power of the pen, pencil press, undeniable, always reliable, often deemed unjustifiable, will always be mightier than the sword. Writing, a path to the world, newfound poetry like an unfound memory, flowers in my hair, fingers tense to pluck them out, one by one. My brain grows every day, unswayed, never persuaded or made to conform, a sturdy tree, stabler than me, branches as strong as I hope esteem to be, roots dig deep. I am strong as the tree. With green photosynthesizing leaves, a swing, playful, a child, strong, healthy, new to the world, wild, never convinced to have a mild temper, a flame so much as a spark to their name. We are strong, alone together, no longer tethered to old ways. We have strength, and strength makes change.
Wow, you all right. Great job. Whoa. Yeah. Let's see what these judges have been up to. On the count of 3, judges, I want you to hold up your scores. 1, 2, 3. Let me see them. I got a 9.4, a 6.5. I believe that's right. Is that correct? And David, I can't see yours. I don't know where David has gone to. My word.
Should be up at the top. He's not up at the very top.
No, I'm going to look on page 2 and see whether he's
Oh, he's
hiding.
got an 8.2.
8.2. Thank you, Julia.
You bet.
7 and 4 is 11. Carry 10, 16, a 24.1 for Harmony, and she moves to the lead. Nice going, Harmony. 24.1. Now, Susie, I don't know whether you're out there.
She's back on.
I'm having tech issues, as you can tell.
We're going to start you over and hope it works.
Okay. Okay. I remember the events clearly. It was a busy afternoon in the farmhouse kitchen. My great nan, roughly in her late 90s, was washing up, and my grandma was standing by her side, wiping the dishes. Mum was there, and I was hanging back, watching the scene unfold. My nan was a diminutive woman in stature, originally 5'8" tall. She had shrunk considerably with old age to 5 foot nothing. Still, she remained as indomitable as ever. Something was up, and my grandma, her daughter, was going to know about it. It has to be said, Grandma was not a wallflower herself and stood a good 5'4" and had plenty of opinions about all sorts of topics. Still, Nan started a "It's all your fault," and a barrage of verbal abuse ensued. I witnessed my sturdy grandmother psychologically shrink to about 6 inches tall. Grandma kept reassuring her mother with a conciliatory, yes, Mum, sorry, I won't do it again, right? You're right, Mum. I know, Mum," whenever she could get a word in. All of a sudden, as fast as the incident had erupted, it stopped. Nan continued, expended and momentarily relieved, to do the washing up. To my surprise, not only did I witness my grandma shrink, I then saw her rise. I witnessed her hackles rise on her back as she turned towards my mother and started to glare. As you all know, my mum is not the type of person to take a fight lying down. I could not believe my eyes. My battleship of a mother shrunk to 6 inches tall, and the whole scenario played out again with a new perpetrator and a victim. This time it was my grandmother verbally arresting Mum with all types of accusations. Mum, in her turn, started up the placating narratives of, yes, Mum, no, Mum, I'm sorry, you're right, I won't do it again. And as quickly as the storm had arrived, it subsided, and Grandma turned, clicked her tongue in annoyance, and continued to wipe the dishes. This disturbing feeling came across me as I watched my mother turn towards me, eyes fixed, and as she took a sharp, disappointed intake of breath, it dawned on me, oh God, I'm next.
Job. Yeah. Boy, good job, Susie. All right, judges. I don't know. I'm going to have to just take a moment here to see if I can find David Shine on my screen. I don't know where he is. There you are. There you are. Nice to see you, David. I'm going to go to another screen and see if you're still there. No, you're not. Isn't that something? Well, Julia, if you have David on your screen, I'll ask you to call out his score. Judges, on a count of 3. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. Let me see him. I got a 9.0, a 7.9, and
9.6.
a 9.6 from David. 9, 6, 15, 8, 9, 17, 9. A 26.5 for Susie. Unmute yourselves. Let her hear it. She's in the lead. Yes. And since you're all unmuted, you might as well pound your paws for Noah.
Oh, does the crowd accept originals?
Gotta be original.
It has to be original.
Yep.
Oh, well, I've been taking a poetry class, so that's fantastic.
Your time
All
has
right.
started, so you gotta go.
Come fly with me, far and beyond, where the day can't shine so bright. We can dance past what we sought and hunt for whatever lies. When the day doesn't shine so bright, maybe the stars will lend a hand. Let's hunt for whatever lies while we float over the grand. The stars will lend a hand, no matter how small. While we flow above the grand, they will reach with their all. No matter how far or small I appear in your eye, I will reach with my all so I can join you in time. I appear in your eye, you appear in my cosmos. I will join you in time during the moons that follow. You appear in my cosmos when we danced past what we sought. After the moons that followed, I'll fly to you, far and beyond.
All right. Yeah. Whoa. For Noah, on the count of 3, judges. 1, 2, 3. Let me see them. I got a 7.4, an 8.7, and let me see if I can
6.1.
say it again.
6.1.
And a 6.1 from the big meanie. A 12, carry the 1 and 7, 8, 16. A 22.2 for Noah. 8 and 86. Yep, 22.2. Wait no longer. It's Michael.
On the inner life of Neanderthals. Growing up, we're taught about our subhuman cousins extinct these 40,000 years, how crude they were, how they were all about eat and be eaten, how their lives were given over entirely to survival. Now comes word down from the academics that perhaps we've been judging our crude, bone-crushing cousins a little too harshly. With the advent of genomic testing and continuous advances thereof, these academics have determined scientifically that these brutish creatures may not be so distant after all. Rather, due to interbreeding between the species, they are part of us. We are walking around with subhuman Neanderthal blood surging through our human bloodstreams. In fact, genomes of non-Africans have been shown to contain 2% Neanderthal genetic material. This has required a major rethink of just how brutish these creatures really were. Perhaps these extinct subhumans were not such ruffians after all. New research suggests, in fact, that Neanderthals were possessed of deep and luscious inner lives. Examples of Neanderthal art, flower burials, feather adornment, eagle talon jewelry might indicate a capability for complex symbolic thought. Perhaps their lives actually involved journaling in the morning, writing poetry in the afternoon, contemplating new art with which to decorate their caves. Would it be too great a leap to suggest that Neanderthal penned loved poems of finest quality, real tearjerkers that wormed their way into female hearts, no matter the species? Could this explain why the brutish Neanderthal, known for killing and being killed, wooed so many of our fair maidens way back in the day, while our ancestral men were still living in treetops? Too scared at times to descend to meet these square-jawed bards, who were instead perfecting rhythmic and rhyming patterns with which to woo our women. Genetically, at least, this proves that the very best way in this rough and tumble world to ensure that your species survives, that your traits endure, that your genetic material is passed along to subsequent generations. The only way to punch your ticket to eternity is to practice your love poetry. Thank you.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah. What great poets we've got tonight. I really am so glad that we got so many wonderful poems, at least so far. We don't know what's coming. On the count of 3, judges. 1, 2, 3. Let me see. I've got an 8 point, move 2, an 8.5, and I need David's score.
6.2.
Did you say 6.2?
Yes.
Still the meanie. 9. 9 and 8 is 17. A 20. Hold on. 23.9 for Michael. I'm going to check that again. 7 and 2 is 9. Yes, 9 and 8 is 7. 23.9. This is really good because now I want to hear it for Kim.
Oh, no. All right. Eating at the end of the empire. They're telling me to give everything up. Fried foods, their aromas wafting like waltzers in the air. Chocolate, its loving lips licking my own for hours after eaten. Carbs, those toasty creatures whose gluten is my bitch on most occasions. Even creamy dressings, which go on the salad they purport I should turn to. Like a new friend, a blind date, a sweet lover whose crisp arms should slap the soft palate with a witty jaunt on the two-step dance floor. But I say, no. If I'm going to eat at the table of the conqueror, the emperor, the sunset golden piled table of the empress, I'm going to do it right. Gobble it like a Roman wife, savor it, pull it through my teeth, chomp, lick, laugh, and spit, and even use the vomitorium should the need arise. So I might live, damn it, if I am going to live, not waste away staring at the odd starfruit squashed and quinoa piles and wondering what the hell to do with them, all or worse, cook them only to peck at and then shove in the dark crisper drawer where I will make a new play dates with them, with Mold, that hairy guy I seem to keep inviting over and over again, so that like some court jester staring at the empress's toes as she shuffles through the throne room in her rumpled robe, I finally give up the ghost and just go out into the streets to dumpster dive for a pile of whatever slop to eat until I need to puke it all up and start all over again anyway.
Yeah. Whoa. Let's see what these judges can give to that poem. Whoa. Count of 3, judges. I'm going to do it in Spanish. So you'll have to sort of try to figure it out. 1, 2, 3, dígame. Nice, judges. They're multilingual. I got a 9.0, a 9.4, and an 8.8. 2, carry the 1. A 27.2 for Kim. And she moves into the lead. Whoa. Please, put your hands together. Welcome, Andy.
The soap dish sits still as a cradle, holding its treasure for the next person who needs it. The soap, too, sits quiet as the dish towel, which hangs nearby, also hoping for its chance to help out. Next to the dish towel, the sink will soon do its own job, holding the dish water and the dirty dishes in need of washing. On the counter lies the green sponge waiting to do its dirty work, scouring the pots, the dishes, the silverware, which will gleam like chess pieces drying in the rack. Next to the sponge, the detergent waits, a blue genie in a bottle with its own brand of bubbly magic. In front of them all, the window, ready to be of use, which offers views of the neighbor boy swinging a baseball bat in the yard. And above him, the blue sky and the clouds like angels floating by, watching the world below, how everything settles into its own dignity. Now here comes the sun, poking its head out above the clouds, anxious to get in on the action. Notice how it leans in through the window, reaches across the counter, where it lands on the faucet, which waits happily for its turn to shine.
Nice.
Judges, on a count of three, except I'm going to go backwards this time. You did so well with the Spanish. I'm going to start with three and I'll finish with one. 3, 2, 1. I want to see them. I got a 9.6, a 6.9, and a 9.2. 7 carry the 1, 10, 16, a 25.7 for Andy. It's time for burn.
I have to leave my video off. Breathe out into your palms. Lift your troubles up to the sky, people. They are waiting there to turn them into stars for us. Amidst the cacophony of excited wedding guests, bodies jostling together in the crowded party rooms, scents of crab cakes fresh from the oceans cooked, gardens chopped and minced into savory bits, perfumes of suited men and bedazzled women wafting from across the room. He comes to me and says, "I'm going to lose it." The room is our obstacle course. Our escape stretches before us. Tightening our grip on each other, we weave past clinking cocktail glasses, around tables laden with delectables, past groups of friends embracing, lauding exclamations for the bride and groom. The roar distant somehow as our tunneled vision leads us to the door. Outside, we spy our destination, a tidy green shade beneath a treed garden where there is a chair. All I see, one single white chair. I say to him, "Sit here," and he does. What happens next is given over to our ancestors. My medicine bag, my only fashion accessory for the day, holds rescue remedy, tobacco, and sweetgrass. Rescue remedy to calm the body, sweetgrass to calm the reverberating universe, and tobacco to calm the spirit signals whose messages articulate through my body. I say to him, "Breathe out into your palms. Lift your troubles up to the sky, people. They are waiting there to turn them into stars." It was so. It was done. I can smell the sweet grass when I close my eyes, feel a laughing, joyous sun next to me. It is ease. Everything is complete, whole, under the stars.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Whoa, yes, Bernie, nice. Whoa. I implore people to unmute themselves and try to compete to make noise for the extraordinary poems that we're hearing tonight. I can't tell you. Judges, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I want to see them. I've got an 8.6, a 7.4, and David, wiggle yours around a 6.3. 7 and 6 is 13, 9 and 7 is 6, a 22.3 for Bernie. You was robbed, Bernie.
Yeah.
These judges, what are you gonna do? Yeah, now we're talking. Yes, yes, yes. About time, by golly. Whoa. That said, here it is. It's Mark.
This is called Three Hearts. There was smoke across the moon. Had he only bothered to look up, had he seen the warnings, he might have stopped. For after all, the chance to be with her was here. Onward he plunged, carried by her scent, her eyes, her excitement. This time, he thought he'd get it right. So he buried himself into her, smoke across the moon. The warning faded away. The sheets were clean and white. They lay in the darkened room. She slept, little puffs of breath, gentle sounds. He beside her, watching her. She stirred, awoke. As they lay there, each entwined in arm, pulse against pulse, holding them upward to the ceiling. She always liked how her arms looked against his, pale and lithe against brown and strong. This is enough, she said, just to be here now. He nodded as if repeating the words out loud would show the lie. He had already moved on.
Yes, nice
Very
job.
nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Judges on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Show me the money. I got a 6.5, an 8.6, and David, I'm gonna have to have Julia call yours out.
8.7.
An 8.7 from David. 13, 18. Carry the 1, 7, 25, and 8. Hold on. 5 and 6, 11, 18, 7, 8 is 15, and 8. 23.8 for Mark.
Woo! Yay!
Let's bring on JD.
Woohoo!
Hey everybody. This is called Numbers. As X-35 and we sets our phasers to kill, just like the old Star Trek days. Of course, we ain't got no real phasers. No one does. And there never was no real Star Trek days anyways. Just a saccharine make-believe of old Earth data feeds. I aims and I goes zit, zit, and I adds just so he knows. You dead, you dead. The twin suns cracks dawn open. The watchtower clocks on commands. The lowering of the red flag and the raising of the blue one. As X-35 falls down all dead, except for giggles. He laughs and I laughs. We both laughs on account of he ain't really dead. Just pretend dead. And also on account of changing flags means all the numbers have been called up for the year. Oh, it's X-35. He rises up like Lazarus and we praises the rising suns. Of course, there never was no real Lazarus, numberless or otherwise. And there ain't no such thing as a sun that rises, just our eyes playing tricks. What should we do now? X-35 whispers, seeing how we's both still alive. I wraps my arm around him, brings him in close, lets him feel safe in my gravity, and sends of an answer.
Yeah. Nice.
Hey. Woo!
Yes.
Nice.
Judges, where are you? There you are. Are you ready to score? They're doing a pretty good job. Unmute yourselves and let the judges know how much you appreciate them. Ooh.
Yay.
Yay. Ooh. All right. Let's see if that influences what the score is. 1, 2, 3. I want to see it. I got a 6.4. I got a 9.4. And Julia, can you call out for David?
I'm seeing a 9.2. Yeah, sorry. Julia.
9.2. 0, 7, 9, and 16, and 9. A 25.0 for JD. Woo! Woo! Don't fall asleep on me now. You hear a good poem, you want to recognize the score, darn it. All right, recognize now, it's Eva.
Siege shock. We stamp our feet as we come in, but snow clings and melts in puddles around our chairs during the class, drying too before we finish and leave. Vishnu is late, scrapes into her chair, tossing pillows of icy gusts that fresh up our minds. Even Min, madly lovely, blinks at this burst of cold and looks around, catches my eye, and smiles. I encourage her to speak, but no. I'm here with them in their first winter to offer words and witness. I bring them dried cayenne from my garden, I tell them, because Lachi has told me of the food they miss from home. Ganesh tells me they will not cook with these peppers, but split them and plant the seeds. Note to self. Min did not lose her home. She knows where it is and who took it, maybe one at a time. Her insides shocked, torn, and scrambled by people, maybe just one at a time. She knows. Her body here listens to our nonsense sounds as a soothing lullaby. She smiles readily and is deeply wrapped there. Yet the cold breeze moved her. I smile back and hope she wants to speak someday.
Whoa, nice piece. Whoa. Judges? In Spanish, backwards. Tres, dos, uno, déjame. Woo! I got an 8 point, move it a little, 8.5, a 9.6, and Julia, let me know what David's got.
9.2.
A 9.2, 3, carry the 1, a 27.3 for Eva, and she moves into the lead by 1/10 of 1 point. Whoa! Wait no longer, please. Give it up for Steve.
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
I'm okay?
Yep.
Okay, this is called the Big Bang Theory. Now, which came first, the chicken or the egg? That existential question so often asked has everyone waiting and wanting to know which and where and when it began. Before Once Upon a Time and the written word, men wearing animal skins built fires in caves while they drew on walls and invented language, which brought up the chicken and egg question. Then bands and clans and primitive tribes from villages and towns and big city states built kingdoms and empires that rose and fell, but left every civilization still wanting to know which came first, the chicken or the egg. Could one have existed before the other? Did the little red hen and Chicken Little write recipes for a Humpty Dumpty souffle? Wise men and wizards the world all around went head to head with psychics and mystics while magicians pulled chickens from hats. But the chicken egg question remained unsolved. Theologians and scholars wrote Bibles and books, and evolution went to war with intelligent design. But scientists came up with the Big Bang Theory, insisting it was an explosion that started it all. With the final proof found in a New Yorker cartoon, a black and white drawing of a chicken and egg together in bed and basking in post-coital glee. The chicken is smirking and smoking a cigarette and saying, "I guess we've answered that question."
Whoa. Judges, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Show me the money. I got a 6.9, a 9.3, and Julia, can you read David's?
A 6.8.
A
I
6.8.
think that's fair. What are you reading, archaeologically speaking? You're out of date, big time. Come on.
There's a comment from one of the editors. 23.0 for Steve. And I have to tell you, Steve, that New Yorker cartoon was one of my favorites of all time. What was it, about 8 years ago? And the look of those two eggs in bed was just, it couldn't have been better. So I'm glad to be reminded. And when you started the poem, I immediately saw that. And I was debating whether I had the guts to tell that cartoon to this audience. And I was spared by your courage to go right into it. I want to hear it. Please, our last slammer for round 1. Give it up for Joanne.
My specialty. I was making spaghetti sauce in the kitchen of our apartment on Bank Street, the tiny kitchen with netting over the plants in the window to keep the parakeets from eating the leaves. I added 2 tablespoons of wine to the simmering sauce. The wine I bought at Izo's Market down the street, the wine with the highest percentage of alcohol. The rest I drank to fortify myself for the act of cooking, a domestic chore against my nature. When all was ready, I prepared a heaping plateful for my slovenly husband, carried it carefully down the long hallway to the living room, tried to hand him the plate, only to watch in slow motion as the spaghetti slid into his lap. It was an accident, of course, but he believed there are no accidents. It's he who would not keep the birds in their cage so that parakeet poop covered everything, so that they feasted on my plants, who ignored me for days on end, then charmed my friends who told me how lucky I was. He gave my brother the finger as
Again, there's always been sort of a trial narrative and a public narrative, and I know that again, this sort of.
Hold on, Joanne.
Yeah.
You might want to go back a little bit.
Okay. Did I say parakeet poop covered everything?
Yes.
A little before that.
Okay. It was an accident, of course, but
There it is.
There are no accidents. It is he who would not keep the birds in their cage so that parakeet poop covered everything, so that they feasted on my plants, who ignored me for days on end, then charmed my friends who told me how lucky I was. He gave my brother the finger as he took a picture of us, the happy couple, and shattered my Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album because I went to bars by myself. But hey, nobody's perfect, and we cleaned it up. There was plenty more.
Yes, Joanne. Judges on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. An 8.8, an 8.4, and Julia, can you tell me David's? A 7.5, there it is, 9 and 8 is 17. A 24.7 for Joanne. Well, that brings us to the announcement of our second round finalists. We're going to have Eva, who's in the lead with a 27.3. We're going to have Kim, who's in second place with a 27.2. And the final slammer of the evening will be Susie, who's with a 26.5. That's a tight group of scores there. It will be cumulative scoring. So we put Susie there too. We'll have to work a little harder than Kim and Eva. Please welcome to the stage for round 2. It's Eva.
Do not follow. Little girl curled on the staircase, me. I saw, wasn't meant to see. I heard, wasn't meant to hear. Told not to tell, planting fear. From these scraps I learned the pattern, now reformed, now retold. I'm really sorry this story is so old. Eyes, nerves, clamps, disappeared, sprung traps. My father broke, but he had already died. Asked to do wrong, he complied, because those who didn't were killed or stilled, because he couldn't just say he didn't want to obey. I get it. He didn't want to die that way. Not my path, not today. The little girl grew, learned the slew of lies she heard, and found the right word. Alive, alive.
Nice. Wow. Judges on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I want to see them. I got a 9.1, a 9.3, and a 9.3, giving her 3 and 3 is 6 is 1 and 7, a 27.7 added to the 27.3. Looks to me like a 55.0 for Eva. However, who knows what's going to happen? It's a tight race. Please welcome to the stage, Kim.
I cursed you month after month. I tried to tell you I did not need you, would not ever need you, but you came back every time. I watched you lay my friend low in the cafeteria in middle school, the first time we met. She stumbled out of the school into the bright day, blinking in surprise, her new white pants stained red with you back and front. She did not return for 3 days. I heard my mother passed out at work in a closet in the parking lot, all because of your friendship with her. And when she was a girl, she would miss classes for the entire week each time you visited. Why, you ask, do we call you the curse? Why is it we are called weak and insubstantial because we are women? Doesn't letting blood sound like a thing soldiers and priests do? Doesn't it seem, if we can do it spontaneously without knife or altar, that we are powerful, we women? And why should we be ashamed of it, cast out for it, made to stay in tiny wooden huts no wider than a coffin bed, with a blanket and the earth for a bed, and wild hyenas for company, some of us to never re-enter the family house? Because some men decided we might bring demons into the house during our periods? Why is it a woman can't rule a country when clearly we move through life just fine, even as we lose 2 to 6 teaspoons of blood a day, sometimes for up to 7 to 9 days, and sometimes constantly without relief for months on end when the uterus is not thick enough, unable to catch the blood as nest or cradle for a fetus? I had a friend who bled for years with no relief, yet still kept a house, came to work, raised her child, and handled her man-child. Could you do that? If men menstruated, there would be monthly holidays, menstruity days, or certainly much longer paternity leave. They'd whine and cry and gnash their teeth and insist they needed us to wait on them until they felt better. The irony of all of this is that when I met you, I was told you eventually would go away and get your own hobbies, other friends, a place of your own. I was told that later on life would be glorious because I could leave you behind, easily slip out of my role as a woman and into my role as crone. Grandmother, woman who is not visited once a month with a kind of little death, a reminder that I had yet again not managed to make a new life. But it has become abundantly clear to me that that was a lie.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Wow.
Judges, what?
Judges, I want to see them on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Put them up. I got a 9.4. I got a 9. Oh, I can't get 9.8. And a 9.3. 3 and 8 is 11. 1 is 15. Carry a 28.5. There, carry the 3, 9, and 7. A 20. A 50. 56.3. I'm just going to check my math. I can't believe what incredible score we got. 28. Yes, that's right. 7. What? Whoa. 4 and 8, 12, 15. 5 and 2 is 7. Haha, hold on, folks. 5 and 2 is 7. 5. A 50. Wait a minute.
Where's his calculator?
It's 15. A 56.7. 1/10 of a point higher. You can tell I passed math. It was called arithmetic, actually. All right, put your hands together. Our last slammer of the evening, barring a tie. Welcome, Susie.
Before the barrage of strange verbal artillery of mad accusations started up in my direction, from my mother, and my mother's mother to my mother to me, I quipped loudly and without a thought for my immediate safety. No, I'm not gonna, it's not gonna happen, and it's not, no. And with that declaration of defiance, I vanished out of that kitchen before she could blink an eye. You might be thinking this doesn't happen, and how could you know to stop it? Well, it does, and it did happen right in front of me. One of the few things I have to say I possess is a very quick survival gut instinct when it comes to my family. Here we are, blessing, giving thanks, and remembering the memories of my mother at her passing. To be fair, there are plenty of good thoughts and memories and stories. However, as I suspected, the less known, more troublesome, and I would argue downright abusive side of my mother, and the generational abuse in my family was not going to get an airing. My suspicions have been proven right. I told you my instinct to both identify what is going on and, more significantly, to articulate it is one of my most robust and, in the eyes of my family, most heretical part of my character. It is almost blasphemous to call out your family on abuse. These rivers run deep. The blame-shame game of her mother, her mother's mother, must have stretched back generations after generations. Fortunately, I have found out. It took time to get there, and there has been plenty of pain, failure, disappointment, and self-harm on the way to get here. Here I am okay with the fact that I can cogently articulate this, and I have no malice against my mother or her mother's mother and her mother's mother's mother. I have pain. I do not trust them. I have had to learn to love myself, have compassion for myself, and let go of the trauma and toxicity it has embedded in my very being to be able to read this to you. I am not done. My life's work is to call out this generational, even ancestral abuse, as we have made a society where entitlement, incivility, and narcissism thrives and gets rewarded at the expense of everyone else and the planet. It has to stop. And I am ready for that fight, especially now I can identify the wolf in those sheep's clothing.
Yes. Oh, nice job.
Yes.
Whoa. Yeah. Judges, this is your last opportunity to score a poem tonight, unless there's a tie. Hold them up on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Let me see them. I got a 6.8, an 8.8, and an 8.3. That's 9, 1, 7, 15, 23.9. Carry the 4. Between 27 and 3. A 50.4 for Susie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all, poets, tonight. What a treat to hear what you got. Thank you, Michelle, for what you've offered. Our second runner-up is Susie. Our first runner-up is Eva. Please unmute yourselves. Let her hear how much you love her work. It's Kim. Hi, Ellen. Nice to see you. Michelle.
Hi.
This has been so much fun. I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you do for poetry, for PoemCity, for the city of Montpelier.
Yeah.
Hey, Michelle. My pleasure, believe me. And we couldn't obviously do it without you, Geof, every year.
Well,
Wouldn't be PoemCity without you.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Geof.
Hey, yeah.
That's arithmetic.
it's just, it's the thing is that I have the most fun of all, I know. So I can't thank you enough, all of you, for letting me have this kind of fun. And so great to have these extraordinary judges who only got booed one time. You guys got off easy. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, David. Thank you, Julia. And I think that's it. Regretfully, I say goodnight. I congratulate the 3 finalists, but mostly I congratulate all of you for being here and for saying your poems. Good night.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.